Thank you. Yes, welcome back to Wimbledon, where unfortunately we've got a bit of rain in the air and they've got the roof on centre court. They don't want the courts getting wet. We've already had complaints they're a little bit too slippery. We've had players falling over, we've had players withdrawing through injury, and here to talk us through some of those injuries is physio James Avery, who worked with some of these players on the tour. Now, they've been going over, a few of them complaining about the courts. Are these injuries grass court related, or is it a case that some of them have perhaps got injuries coming into the tournament?
I think essentially there is a relationship with the grass, and the grass may be causing a problem, but I don't think it's necessarily any different this year at Wimbledon or this tournament as opposed to another grass tournament like Queen's, for example. We've seen certainly with the players there's two types of injury that are occurring at the moment. The first of those is a loss of traction injury, where the player goes to push off perhaps and loses a bit of grip on the grass, and as a result you might get some kind of twisting injury, whereas the foot slides away, the knee's buckling underneath them. And that's going to place considerable stress on some of the ligaments around the edge of the knee, or the anterior cruciate inside the knee, or perhaps even the menisci, the cartilage in the knee, that give it congruency, give it the stability, but they're also at risk therefore of getting torn as the knee twists and buckles underneath.
What is it about the grass, though? Because it's different from the clay, and we talk about players making the conversion from clay to grass. What is it that's different about this, and does it have an increased impact on their joints?
Okay, so the clay courts are slower generally. The clay binds to the ball and it slows the ball down, and as a result you get a more vertical trajectory on the ball, slows it down, the players have more time to react and also get to the ball. You come onto the grass, particularly at the beginning of the tournament, when the grass is still fairly damp, and there'll be a little bit of slick and slide on there, and as the ball comes through, it will come through fast and slide off, staying lower. So particularly tall players, and this leads us on to the other injuries, tall players, for example, Isner or Cilic, he will potentially struggle to get down low to the ball, and as he does so, he's having to bend his knees, placing a lot of strain on the patellar tendon here. And if we look at the tendon, it's quite a long structure, and the fibres should run vertically, and unfortunately over the period of time during the year those fibres are going to become slightly damaged, and as they do so, there may be a niggling injury that's in the background that isn't stopping the player from playing, but is there grumbling along, and therefore when you come to the grass and you're having to get down lower, it's placing more strain and the injury starts to become more serious.
Fantastic stuff. Thank you very much. James Avery there, physio's worked with many of these top players that are in action at Wimbledon behind me. As I say, the rain is in the air, not a huge amount of action necessarily going along at the moment. We hope that we won't see too much more of this rain over the next couple of weeks.